The country was split in 1922. There was never an Irish border. It was put there by a British government against of the people of Ireland's wishes. We never wanted a border in Ireland, and we never will want a border. The total population of the island of Ireland is nearly 6 million. The landmass of Ireland would fit into the United States 117 times, but we do, I think, punch above our weight. The Celts came to Scotland, the Isle of Man, and here to Ireland. On the left you see here statues. They represent the people who left Ireland during the Great Potato Famine. In the 8th century, the Vikings conquered Ireland, and we do have remnants of the original Dublin Wall. There are many places that end in the word ford, the corruption of the Norwegian word fjord. 80% of liquid beverages on a counter will be black. We're coming up through Dane Street. The big turns around the corner here. Then, after a couple of centuries, we were taken over by the Normans. The Normans built a lot of castles and cathedrals, Christchurch Cathedral and St. Patrick's Cathedral. Passing the City Hall on the left, uprising in Ireland. There is no Catholic cathedral in Dublin. And that came about as a result of King Henry VIII fell out with the Pope, set up himself as head of the English Church. All Catholic land was taken by the British royal family. Catholic had no rights whatsoever. It lasted until 1829. Coming up through Christchurch Cathedral, developed over the centuries, but originally built by Normans. Gothic in style, the 19th century, flying buttress, the supports for the side walls, bridge. At the end of the church, the bishops and the clergymen could get to their residence, erected in 1170. The harp is the official symbol of Ireland. When you see the harp on a bottle, you know it's Guinness, but it faces the other way. Guinness here in Ireland would be relatively low alcoholic content. It's 4.3%. And if you got a pint quicker than 2 minutes, it wasn't good. It couldn't be. Give us a pint and make sure it's a slow pint. Mick is just going to take us on a spin down to the St. Patrick's, beautiful Gothic cathedral. Very unusual, like, for a church. There's no holy statues or paintings. Jonathan Swift was dean and also very much a political commentator, berating the city administration for how much poverty there was in Dublin. Did everything he could to ameliorate that situation. He even built what was then called a madhouse, taking you down to go on a little walk.
The Queen, grandfather George V visited Dublin a century ago, and 90 years since the Irish violent uprising.
People have taken painful memories, powerfully indicated Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth bowing her head at the Garden of Remembrance, honouring those who have died. If we had not had the event of 1916, the executions, and the attempt at conscription, the founding events that enabled us to have the independent state and institutions we have today.
The Easter Rising of 1916, with the First World War raging, a ragtag group of rebels and revolutionaries saw an opportunity to strike against the British Empire. On Easter Monday, nationalists seized the General Post Office. The Sherwood foresters arrived and thought they were in France. They built trenches on the road to the city. By Saturday, the Rising had been crushed. The British ordered the execution of 15 of its leaders by firing squad.
The Irish government was watching a slow seeping of blood from behind a prison door.
450 people died during the Rising. Thousands of Irishmen died.
The bloody mud of Flanders.
Fighting for the British Empire. 1916 helped to cement the divisions in Ireland.
It began a war, and the legacy of the partition of Ireland attending to unfinished business at a much later stage.
Not all have been aware of countermanding order, what had happened about the Aud, and that the goods weren't coming. Wooded having wound the clock, he would still participate. We weren't free. We had been encouraged not to speak our language, to have little respect for our history. Our best prospects were in imitation to other people's standards. Look at it and they said, weren't they great visionaries?
Married to a lady called Constance Wilde, and you see her depiction here in the smaller statue. You'll see she's pregnant and she's looking kind of sideways at him in, you know, some kind of dismissal of Oscar Wilde because of his activities. And this statue here, I don't know how you could ever make it out, but it depicts the Greek god of wine, Dionysius. And it again symbolizes the lifestyle that Oscar Wilde had. Many of our soldiers and police lost their lives on United Nations missions. We don't become involved with aggressive hacking military affairs.
Can we get two of those?
Official entrance of the brewery is called James's Gate, usually on the label of a bottle of Guinness. Guinness family were Quakers. They founded the brewery in 1759. They take in about 12 to 13,000 people a day.
Guinness branded glass gives us a target when we're pouring it. Plain bottom on the inside. Lager glasses have a design there, designed to bubble circulating, so it's very important that it's a plain bottom glass. Take our glass, hold it against the nose, point at the inside of the gold heart, pull the top handle all the way down. Guinness coming in at a high pressure, and slowly straighten it, reaches the top of that gold heart, bring the top handle back upright. Leave this on the bar to settle. First of our two-part pour. It's got a very skinny head on top. There appears to be stuff falling down the sides, starting to go a bit dark towards the end. Called the Guinness Surge. 30 million bubbles of it are escaping, forms the thick creamy head on top, knocking other bubbles out of the way. That's the beer clears, the head on where we want it to be. In Ireland we like a head on our beer, about 2 centimetres. So we wait, gone lovely and dark underneath, time to top it off. This time we're pushing a small Guinness tap, pour from either direction. It limits the amount of gas second time round. Gonna let it fill up to take 119.5 seconds.